Hello there, Flameborn, and welcome back to Enshrouded. I've finally found the time to jump back in this amazing RPG survival game with possibly one of the best, if not the best, build system out there in survival games. So we're definitely going to be doing some cool builds, and I've actually already built my first little base here, the little starter Hobbit hole with the materials that we have available. So I'm playing together with Scroll, and together we're taking on all the adventures of the world of Enshrouded. But of course, we need a little base, and I've built this little cozy Hobbit hole as a starter base using the materials available. I tried to do something different than the Hobbit hole that I built last time I played. I also placed some of these bushes, but they seem to be running rampant already. They keep on growing. I kind of forgot about that, so I might have to trim them down a little bit because they're kind of taking away my view. So let's take away a few of these bushes that we don't really need too many of, because we want to see my lovely house, of course. There we go. Maybe a few here as well. There we go. That's much better. Now we can actually see the little Hobbit hole. So I've used some of the basic materials that you can have. This stone roof, I think it is. We've got some of the flint stone here at the bottom. We've got the shroud wood, normal wood, as well as a little bit of the bricks, which I managed to get as well. So I guess the bricks is the last one you would find, but it's quite easy to get there. And, like, it's near the farmer tomb, I think, so not too difficult. And then, of course, the flower soil is pretty easy to get as well from the spire. You can jump down into the town that has some. So yeah, we have even a little chimney up here with some smoke coming out from it. I've recorded the entire thing, so I will be able to show you how to build this one yourself. And we've got our flame shrine right here, flame altar, sorry. And yeah, this is our lovely little spot. So we are located right here, which is kind of across from where you spawn. We didn't go for like the normal starter area. We decided to move over here next to the small flint mine as a backdrop, just because I wanted to be in the forest a little bit. I thought that was a nice touch. And now you can see why, because there's some hills here. I kind of built into and also expounded on the hill that was already here. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the way this had turned out. Of course, there's many things I would like to change, but we just haven't unlocked anything yet. We don't have that many details to decorate it yet. We don't have that many plants or anything, so it's the basics. I do like this little fence that we have. I've got some of the crafting stations out here. This one can definitely stay. Some of these other ones I would probably prefer moving out as soon as we start making like dedicated bases for all the villagers, or we find a base location that we're going to build like our proper main base. But for now, I'm not mad about building a few of these little cozy houses. I quite like having this roof. I've built Hobbit holes before in Enshrouded when the game first released, but yeah, it was fun jumping back into it. I think this looks quite nice. I'm happy with the door entrance standing out a little bit more. I looked at some different Hobbit hole designs from the movies, and I was like, yeah, it would be kind of cool to have a little bit of a roof there at the front. And then I kind of made that come back here for one of the windows, which is quite cool as well. It had some of the roof around here as a little flower bed that I tried to make with the flower soil. And then we have a tiny window there too, and we have a window on this side. We actually also have a window here over on this side as well, so you can still have a little bit of a view from there. And then I thought this was a little wheelbarrow. I didn't read properly, but now we've got a big plow in front of our Hobbit hole, which I suppose is fine. We'll make a farm at some point. But yeah, let's go inside. Let's take a little look at what the interior looks like. So we have a cozy little hallway with a little bit of the storage, as well as the main workbench, I suppose. Then we have the bedroom in here with you know, a little bit to wash your hands in a bathtub. Nothing too fancy, but enough for a cozy Hobbit hole, right? And then on the other side, this is definitely still lacking some decorations. We've got a little table here to chill out at, and we can also chill at the fire. You know, be cozy. Made a little bit of a custom fireplace as best as I could with just the normal stone, and that's also the one we see above. So I thought that was quite a cool little feature, but there's definitely enough room here still to decorate. I really want the fossil display case, but we can't really make it yet. We haven't progressed far enough just yet, but I wanted to get a little build going. Of course, if we're playing Enshrouded, we have to do some building, and quite happy with this one. And if you're wondering what's behind the door here, this is kind of where we've locked up all the NPCs, so they're not in the way. So I've got the storage system here for now. We've got the NPCs here so that they've stopped complaining about shelter and everything, and they should be quite safe in here. But at some point I would like to build them all a little base of their own, a little house of their own. But for now, they're gonna have to live in the little dungeon at the back. These hobbits have a dark secret hidden in the hobbit hole. But yeah, that is kind of it. And then of course I have recorded this, how to build this yourself. So if you want to follow along, I kind of cleared out a little bit of the hill before I started building, but I mean, technically you can build this pretty much anywhere, because all I did at the end was kind of build above it. So we kind of built the entire shape of the hole against a cliff face or a wall. So you could kind of pick any kind of wall and then build the whole structure as I did. Mostly, of course, this front wall. Then we also have, of course, this window. We did have all the side walls as well as the walls at the back. And we even had a roof before we added a layer of grass and flower soil above it. So yeah, you should be able to do it anywhere, but you could of course also come to this location and then yeah, on top of this hill is there with this tree. So this, until this tree, the hill kind of goes down a little bit smoother. I kind of hollowed that out a little bit before I started building. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. Let me know if you like it as a little starter base. Of course, many things I would like to have done differently, but until we unlock more building things, I think this looks quite cozy. And then over the time, if we unlock more things, I'll build some more houses and halls for the other villagers and NPCs, and I think that's going to be quite cozy until we maybe find a place that we prefer more and we decide to move over to a different biome, because I can't wait to explore some of the biomes that I've never seen before, like the big forest that they added later on, and I think the mountains with the snow and stuff also look really exciting. So can't wait to explore more. But for now, let's dive into how to build this hobbit hole. And we're starting, of course, with laying down some kind of foundation. I think I started with a 2x3 using these shroud wood blocks. And mostly this is to clear kind of the landscape. And then we can start focusing on starting the facade of the hobbit hole, which is, of course, the most important part. You can do this in a hillside, of course, like I did. I kind of cleared the hillside. I made it into a little bit of a cliff. But any cliff or just out in the open, if you want to build your complete own hill, can also work, of course. Then it's time to get started with the front. We're going to start with a low wall of flintstone blocks. Of course, feel free to change out any of these materials if you've already unlocked more, but this is just kind of based around what I've got available very early on in the game. So here I think we'll make a little platform for the door. So we'll just have two of these next to each other. That should be wide enough to kind of make a nice landing for the entrance, and then we'll place, of course, down one of these lovely round doors, which are perfect for any hobbit. Unfortunately, I only have this one. I don't have anything fancier yet. And then we'll continue our little flint wall along the front like this. And yeah, that's going to be the basis of the wall. And then we'll focus on the entrance a little bit. I think I want some wood around this. Rough wood would work. Any kind of wood, to be honest. I would prefer different wood, but again, don't have that much yet. So we'll just kind of frame the door with this wood. That's the wrong spot. It needs to be right next to the doorway, just to kind of make a frame for it, I suppose. And I think we might want to have some kind of supports, because I want to have a roof stick out here. Right now I'm using the rough wood blocks, but I think I replaced them with shroud blocks eventually. So yeah, you can pick whatever you want for some kind of pillar, I guess, to support the roof. That's kind of what we need. But just with a little gap of 1 between these pillars and the actual door frame. And then all we need to do is fill in the top of the door as well. So that we have the full frame completed. And we have a nice little entrance to our Hobbit hole. Then we'll add in the roof. We kind of want to make sure that we place it where we can just see the pillar poking through. And the other one is wrong, so we'll remove that one and we'll get that right height. I think this is also the right height. I kind of just wanted something to add a little bit more interest to the front here. That is definitely not right. And I think this is a nice little way to have that stick out in front of the Hobbit hole itself. So yeah, we'll have those. Those seem right. I really like these stone shingles as well, so not mad about that. And then we'll have the middle. Just making sure it lines up, and there we go. We have a little entrance statement piece, which should stand out a little bit more than just only having a hillside. And then it's just time to fill in the wall behind it. For the major part, we're using bricks. Time to make some windows. First on the left of the door. I think we'll want a little window here, so I'm just going to carve a little opening here, and that should hopefully be big enough for these smaller round windows, which I think fit this Hobbit vibe quite well if it lets me place where I want to. There we go. That's where it should be. It's still kind of covered by the wall. I guess that's just by the way these bricks look when you make a little hole in them, so maybe we clear a little bit of room around it and make a little frame for it, something like that. Get in some wood, bring back that wood that we also have around the door. That could be nice. And then I guess what we'll do is we'll just have that all the way around, just to kind of yeah, make this look a little nicer. Is probably the way to go, just like that. And then I'm actually thinking we'll do these corners as well. There we go. And then we're going to frame the Hobbit hole itself as well. I think we'll use wood, but maybe, yeah, we'll use the shroud wood because that looks a little bit more like a proper beam. So we're going to just frame basically the outside of the walls, just to kind of add that depth back to it. And we'll need to expand the wall as well as make sure that this lines all the way up against the roof here at the top. There we go. That lines up perfectly. And then we'll do the same thing here on the other side, just kind of following the wall. Of course, we haven't shaped the whole wall yet, but just to get this started and to add that little extra depth in rather than just having a completely flat wall. We want some 3D effects, of course, here. And it adds a little bit of the detail in the brick wall, too. We're going to have a bigger window right here, so we'll probably need a bigger gap. Is this big enough? I'm not quite sure. No, we need a bigger window, so it's like 4 wide. Yeah, that's going to be another nice round window, so it should fit our aesthetic quite nicely. There we go, that already fits. That looks quite good, I would say. We could frame it again, just to clear it a little bit more. And to kind of, I guess, keep with the theme, bringing some different materials, which might look nice as well. Just blending them together, because, yeah, that works quite well for this game. There we go. Just a little frame around the window. And I think we might try some roof blocks as well to kind of shape the window even more. Maybe make like a little... Oh, it's gonna, of course, do things like that. Actually, not too bad. Kind of mirrors what we have on the front. Maybe if we add one above. Yeah, that looks quite good. I like that. I really like that. But then maybe we don't need the wood. We might want to replace the wood in these corners, at least, because then it kind of follows that roof a little bit better, I think. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's pretty good. So we'll do a little bit of a flower bed in front of the windows if we can make it. I think we probably can find a way. I think I did this before last year. There we go. Something like that. It's a little bit weird in how they work. I know there's probably actual flower beds already, but again, early games here. We don't have a lot yet, so we're going to have to go with these custom ones for now until we get all the decor that we want and need. But yeah, should work. Trying to get some kind of interesting shape with these roof pieces as well. Just that might work. Kind of have like a little bit of that rounded look to it. Could we add a little bit more green? That is my question. That might be a little bit too much. It's kind of hard to guess because that's way too much. That's way too high. We don't want that much because it's going to take over. No, we definitely want a little there. Maybe like that. Maybe that is exactly what we need. Yeah, we can't go too far because it's going to go all weird. So maybe we'll leave it at that. We definitely probably want to replace this as soon as we have anything anyway better to do this. But I do like a little bit of the green outside the window. I feel like that makes sense. So we'll do it here as well. That works a little bit better already. There's a little bit more room here. That looks like a nice little flower bed. And then we'll maybe add in these. And see if we can get something to work without ruining our little roof above. Something like that. No, actually, if I remove these, that looks quite good. I quite like that. That's a nice little curve and adds a ton of detail in front of that one. And then I guess we'll start the curve of the Hobbit hole. So actually start following this along, although it's getting dark. There we go. So we're just going to kind of make this a little bit of in a circular shape going down into the ground. Some of this might be covered by the hill eventually, but we kind of just want to have the structure because we're trying to build an enclosed house basically before we start filling in the hill itself and kind of bringing it back. So we'll just bring out the wall like this, slowly curving it downwards, and of course adding these edges wherever we need to bring the walls in the way that we want. And we'll fill in the flint as well, just kind of following all the way through. There we go. That looks quite nice already. So now we just need to do the other side as well. And on the inside we kind of can just follow the pattern. So we want to also have these beams going across the outside of the wall, just kind of following the whole shape and mirroring what we have on the other side. We're going to make another little window here, so we're just going to carve a little bit of room over here just to have another window, another small window this time next to the bigger window, which I think is going to be nice. Let in some extra light. These hobbits want to see the lovely nature around them, of course. So we'll make the little wooden frame, and that should fit our small window quite perfectly. And here on this side, I think we're going to add another big window. So this is going to be on the side of the building rather than the front, because I think it's going to be nice to, yeah, also be able to look out on this side of the Hobbit hole. We don't want to completely cover this side with a hill. So we'll just fit the window in, and I made it a little bit too big. So we'll just build the frame around it. I don't think we'll do the whole roof on the outside at this point. We could, if you wanted to, you could do the same as we did for the other one. But I think I want to set it apart a little bit more and not draw too much attention because it's the side of the building. So we'll just have the little wooden frame around it before we continue this side wall as well. And then we're getting close to being able to fill in the roof and kind of fill in the last little bits. And now that we've almost completely filled in the roof, we should be able to start laying down the landscaping on top of it, kind of just making sure that we're not clipping into the Hobbit hole, because that will mean you have to clear it out again. So we're trying to do it above the ceilings, the roof that we've just laid down with the wood, and just kind of following the entire shape like so. And of course, you try just blending this into your landscape, that wherever you're building the Hobbit hole, so the hill kind of goes into whatever existing hill was there, or whatever existing landscape is around you, until you have a nice looking Hobbit hole with a hill behind it. And I really like blending in some of the flowers to bring a little bit more life, and especially along the edges of the Hobbit hole, I think it looks a little bit more natural. All right, then it's time to add a little chimney. So we've got this little fireplace, and basically we're just going to use normal stone because I don't have that much more. And we're just going to kind of build around it until it looks like somewhat of a satisfying fireplace. And we'll make a custom chimney to go out on top of the hill to, yeah, kind of show some signs of life. So I think that kind of encases this, but I would kind of like to blend it together a little bit more. But I think if I pick it up now, fill in the back and maybe add a little bit of a curve in here, we can probably still place it down into this, and it will look a little bit more like it's all part of the same structure like this. There we go. That looks a lot nicer, I think. And then basically we just want to make sure that we'll build this little fireplace going all the way up and just kind of blend it into the roof of our building. And then of course we want to drill a little hole into the top so that we know where it comes out on the top, although technically it doesn't really matter too much. You could add it wherever, but for your peace of mind, or just, I don't know, for ease, I think it's probably just easier to build it straight up from here. So we'll make a big hole and we'll start bringing out these stones all the way to the top. So from the inside, this already looks like the chimney will go out through that hole, and that's a very nice little look. And then on the outside, we're just gonna make a little chimney with a puff of smoke, if we can find it. There we go, there it is. So we'll just bring this out. I think it's a 2x2. We probably want to make it into a 3x3 for the design, but that's a good start. So we'll make this a little bit wider and also a little bit thicker, because again, a 3x3 is kind of what we want, because then we can place a torch or something in the middle to kind of emulate that smoke is coming out. So if I make a hole in this, we should be able to place a torch. We'll make this slightly higher still, just a little bit more, and then maybe we'll do a little edge of the flint, because I think that should give us a nice little top for this. Yeah, that's perfect. And then once we have the torch, you kind of just want to place it right down in the middle, and is there a search hole, but there should be a little puff of smoke coming out from your chimney now. So that is exactly what we want. On the inside, we're going to add in some beams, and then we're going to make some of the walls to make all the rooms and make sure that this feels cozy on the inside as well as on the outside. And there we go. That is how I built this Hobbit hole. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, of course, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of Enshrouded and more Enshrouded builds. And if you've got any suggestions or tips or maybe blocks that I would be smart to unlock first, let me know down in the comments below. And for now, I hope to see you soon in another video or stream. Goodbye.